Sir,
I don't think I need a mic. No, I don't think I need. Am I audible? Perfect. Level. Please sit down.
Introduction, please. Shall we start? So, good morning, dear students. Today we have Chef Parvinder Singh Bali. He's a corporate chef, learning and development at the Overall Center of Learning and Development, OCLD, New Delhi. He is a certified hospitality educator from the American Hotel and Lodging Association, AHLA, a certified professional chef from the Culinary Institute of America, and also a certified chef de cuisine from the American Culinary Federation. Chef Bali has completed his pro certification level 2 from Culinary Institute of America. He is one of the only 3 chefs in India to have been professionally certified by CIA and the American Culinary Federation. So thank you, Chef, for coming here in GNIHM. And our students will be blessed as they will be learning several culinary skills, especially on Punjabi cuisine. And later on we have another session with Chef Bali. Their chef will be teaching you classical entremets. So over to you, Chef.
Thank you.
Thank you, students. I hope you will be having a good session with him. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So how much time do we have for this session?
3 hours.
3 hours for this one. Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. And I can see some familiar faces that I met this year.
Yes.
This year early, I think I had come. I don't know which month was it. February, March?
Yes, sir.
Somewhere I think I had come during that time. Okay, so great. I'm happy to be back, and I'm actually happy to be cooking with all of you because that is what I always wanted to do, is cook with these students. So you people are helping me?
Yes.
Okay, great. And listen, if anybody wishes to also come in front, don't just obstruct the camera, but you want to come have a closer look, you're more than welcome. Yeah. So I think it is better that if you stand around, because it's a hands-on thing, and if you're sitting, then you're sleeping. So you want some energy, just camera ko block nahi karna, because I think they want to record. And we want, I think this poster we can move in the corner. We don't need this man here. You can all come on this side, basically. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can come. Let's all cook together, basically, right? That is the whole idea. Come. And if we feel uncomfortable, then we can go back on seats. I'm okay with how the class proceeds because I want to cook with all of you. And the whole idea is in cooking is unless you get your hands into the things, unless you get your hands dirty, there is no other way of learning, okay? So don't get intimidated by cooking. Cooking is always something that you have to do with passion and love. So today what we are doing is, now Punjabi cuisine is huge, right? But I also tell people there's nothing called Punjabi food. And do you know why? Why there's nothing called Punjabi food?
Because all the ingredients that comes in Punjab, that comes by British, Persians, like tandoor comes from Persia.
Okay.
Armenia, I think.
Okay.
And
ठीक है. Iran. But what else? मैं क्यों बोलता हूँ कि पंजाबी खाना कोई, there's nothing called Punjabi food.
And the butter chicken, or chicken tikka masala, that the national dish of England, was invented in, I think, in 1951 by 1951 or at that stage by the chef.
Okay.
Kundalal Jaggi and
Okay.
at Moti Mahal.
Okay. Now, tell me some famous dishes of Punjab. मक्की की रोटी, सरसों का साग. Very good. What else?
गाजर का हलवा,
गाजर का हलवा.
पिंडी,
Pindi? Pindi chole. Why is it called pindi chole?
So it's originated from Rawalpindi.
Rawalpindi. Where is Rawalpindi?
Pakistan.
So a Punjabi khana, is it Pakistani food or it's Punjabi food? The nerve center of Punjab was Lahore. Okay? Lahori chole. So a lot of things from Lahore, and after partition, then that became Pakistan. So what do we say now today? Is the Punjabi food a food from Pakistan, or Punjabi food is food from Punjab? Punjab is a region. Why I say there is nothing called Punjabi food? Because there is food of the Riyasats of Punjab. There is food of Malwa. There is food of Jalandhar. There is food of Amritsar. But regular Punjabi food, when we say, it is a restaurant Punjabi food. The dal makhani, the butter masala, the malai kofta. These are restaurant Punjabi food, because after partition, people started to make their own restaurants. And restaurant mein, why would we go to eat aloo vadiyan? Why would you go to eat matar paneer? People would say, my mother makes it better at home. So they had to create something novel, something new, something which was difficult to do at home. And that gave a rise to the so-called Punjabi food of today, right? So the Punjabi food of today, what we call is the restaurant Punjabi food. And like rightly said, 1950, the murg tikka makhni, the chicken butter masala, the malai koftas of the world, the dal makhnis, etc. came into the thing. Then there is the royal gharanas of Punjab, and one of them is Patiala, the royal gharanas of Patiala. And the kings of Patiala, if you read the history, Maharaja Bhupinder Singh, and this is not a very old history, it's maybe 300-400-year-old history. They had French sommeliers in the kitchen. The entire chariot of Maharaja Bhupinder Singh of Patiala was designed by Cartier, which is in France, right? So, and they had French cooks also working with them. So a lot of cooks went from the Riyasats. They interchanged between Awadh, Rampur, etc. So a lot of cross collaborations within the royalty of the states. And wherever if you see the cuisine history, if you have to find out, it necessarily will be through the royalty of that place. Because जो royals होते थे ना, उनका काम खाना पीना, इसमें बहुत शौकीन थे वो. And they would get ingredients from there. They would go and meet somebody. They would hire some royal khansama cooks, and they would live life out of enjoyment and luxury. Because those time mein, food was considered to be one of the parts of the biggest luxury. And then they became very secretive about it, because a gharana of Patiala, a gharana of Sailana, which is Bundelkhand, the various gharanas all across the country, they became very, very secretive about their recipes, about their cuisines, because that was one thing that they would call people in, and they would, lay out the royal banquets, and people would appreciate their food. So it became very secretive in nature. ये जो भी घराने थे ना, they would never share their recipes with the daughters also, because the daughter tomorrow will get married and will take the secrets away. So this was given as a riyasat to the bahu, the daughter-in-law who came from the place. So she knew nothing about her food, but she started cooking the food of the royalty. But आजकल क्या हो गया है now with the thing, and that is why there was a secrecy always in the cooks. So cooks never shared secrets, and all the cooks were not educated. So there are no written documents and recipes. However, each gharana has their own written recipes by Rani Sahiba ne likhi hain kitabein, and at homes. And this I only came to know when I was wanting to write one book, and I met Captain Amrinder Singh, who's the Royal Prince of Patiala. And he gave me the handwritten recipes in Gurmukhi. So I got it translated. I'm doing a lot of food promotions in Oberoi hotels with cuisines of Patiala. And I wish to now write a coffee table book on the royal gharanas of Patiala. So they're very open in sharing their recipes. The recipes are really simple. And it is amazing to see that, there's no recipe of paneer. There's no recipe of aloo. Though in Indian cooking, whenever you think of potatoes, we always think aloo as, one of the most common ingredients. When did potato come into our country?
By the Portuguese.
Portuguese. Which year?
300 years ago.
300 years ago. Wow, that's a lot of time, no? 300 years ago? Later than that, maybe.
Like 1492 approximately.
No. उसके बहुत बाद आलू आया है. But tell me something, Calcutta biryani.
Yes.
You all had Calcutta biryani?
Yes.
What is unique in Calcutta biryani?
Potato.
Potato.
Yes.
तो क्यों डालते हैं आलू?
Actually, the king who has created the particular biryani, he was not having too much money at that time. So what he did, he took one thing to be there as meat substitute. So that is why he took potato and he put it inside the biryani, and people were given the biryani just like.
Potato was a luxury back then. Nawab Wajid Ali Shah, when came from Awadh to Kolkata, he was old. So to we seen old people, they find it difficult to digest meat or protein in that high quantity. So it was replaced by a luxury which was potato back then.
Though variations, and like that India has many variations.
Right.
But the real story is that king was Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. Wajid Ali Shah was the Nawab of Lucknow. His gaddi was taken away by the British. This story is of 1800. So when his gaddi was taken, because that time the British here in the country were taking away the monarchy rules from our country. So उन्होंने उनकी गद्दी छीन ली and British Empire आ गया, and East India Company was here in Calcutta. So Wajid Ali Shah came all the way from Lucknow with 200 of his khansamas and people, and he settled in an area called Metia Burj. And he wanted to get his gaddi back, but British refused. So he was like Chinese whispers. And that is the sad thing about our Indian culinary history and traditional cooking, because everything has become Chinese whispers. Because nobody had the recipe. Somebody watched. मेरे को याद है हमारा टाइम बहुत पुराना नहीं है, but 30 years ago, you know, the people creme caramel की recipe में ना, they would hear how many times the egg has been broken, and they would say कि अच्छा 10 अंडे तोड़े हैं इस रेसिपी में. People will not tell you recipes. They were so secretive about everything. And so, since there were no written recipes, people made their own assessments, judgments, बना के वो चीज़ें बिगड़ती गई, right? And like food is not something that has just been given by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. You know, that's a traditional recipe. When a guru gives you a recipe, कि ऐसा बनाओ, or Lord Jesus comes and say, here is the recipe for this thing. So there is nothing authentic. It is always traditional. And traditional means जो आपके पास है सामान, आप उससे क्या बना सकते हैं, आप क्या यूज कर सकते हैं, क्या आपके यहाँ ग्रो कर रहा है, आपको लोकल, सस्टेनेबल, टेस्टी, न्यूट्रिशियस, इन सीजन. If you have the knowledge of, you know, processing the ingredients in a certain way, those are important. Those are one of the most important things that you as budding chefs should take care of. It is not about a recipe really. It is learning how to cut the meat. Cutting of the meat is so important, because अगर आप मीट कोई भी मीट काटेंगे ना, आप देखेंगे उसमें एक मसल की फाइबर्स जा रही हैं, रेशे होते हैं, ठीक है. नाउ इमेजिन ये एक बोटी है हमारे पास और इसमें रेशे ऐसे जा रहे हैं, ठीक है. अगर आप बोटी सीधी काटेंगे तो उसमें रेशे बहुत लंबे लंबे होंगे. सो जब आप उसको कुक करेंगे और जब वो पीस सॉफ्ट भी हो जाएगा, आप खाएंगे तो वो रेशे जो है आपके मुंह में एक गुच्छे की तरह बन जाएंगे. सो इट विल बी, यू विल से दैट लैम्ब इज वेरी च्यूई. सो यू कट द लैम्ब अगेंस्ट द ग्रेन, so that the running fibers you make smaller. So that is the importance, to know that how do I cook the meat, right? When do I sear the meat? What happens when I sear the meat? You know, we've always grown up thinking कि जैसे ही आप मीट को hot pan पे डालते हैं, it seals. No, it doesn't seal actually, because if it's sealed, then when you leave the meat on the side, you see some blood and liquid flowing out. So there's nothing that seals, but it's a way of giving a roasting to it. It's a way of giving a flavor to it, because there's a reaction called Maillard reaction. When the proteins of the meat, they touch the pan and they get browned, it's called Maillard. Similarly, when the sugar touches the pan, it's called caramelization. What happens when the flour browns? What is that called? So I've told you two, protein and sugar. Sugar is caramelization. Protein burning is Maillard reaction. What is starch? Okay, starch में कौन सी sugar होती है? Anybody? Okay, wheat is a starch?
Yes.
Wheat is a starch. Wheat में कौन सी शुगर होती है? Whiskey बनती है उससे.
Some malt sugar.
Malt. So maltose, right? Okay. और starch में क्या होता है? So wheat से ही flour बनती है. There's another type of sugar where the malt gets converted into. Have you heard of a word called dextrose?
Yes, dextrose, yes.
So dextrose is the sugar that comes from the flour. So hence the browning of the flour is called dextronization. Okay? But those are the things it's important for you to understand. That how does the browning will impact? How is the browning of sugar impact how to which degree do you brown, ठीक है. अगर ज़्यादा brown कर दोगे तो it becomes cancer causing because it becomes blackjack, which earlier people used to use in brown breads. Now people have understood the health concerns of it, so now we don't use. So it's very important because जो आपका खाना है ना, the way you treat it, it can become a medicine or it can become a poison, right? So that is why the chefs are very important in this industry, because if we are able to cook the food maintaining its nutrition, then we are doing the job of doctors or preventers of diseases. In our olden times, all the food was used as a medicine and all the cure in Ayurveda is through the food. Okay? So such is the importance of our culture. Okay? So anyway, it's a vast thing, but I'm going to basically teach you not the recipes really, but I'm going to teach you the techniques. Okay? And with the techniques, we will understand many processes, that what is important, and these processes you can use in many recipes. Okay? So आज हम बनाने जा रहे हैं जो इंडियन डिश में, एक मुर्ग मखनी बनाएंगे, एक हम मलाई कोफ्ता बनाएंगे और एक हम चिकन टिक्का बनाएंगे. Because chicken tikka we'll use for making murg makhni and we will make a malai kofta. So I wanted to show you basically two gravies, one traditional white gravy, one makhni gravy and one chicken tikka, right? Okay. So with that I will tell you that how you can combine these gravies to also make many other dishes. Okay. So before we start, it's very important to have a workflow. Okay? And workflow means that what do we do the first thing first?
Misa.
So misa is done. Now we'll do the pre-processing. So पहले हम क्या करते हैं, चिकन टिक्का का फर्स्ट मैरिनेशन करते हैं. बिकॉज नाउ व्हाई डू वी डू फर्स्ट मैरिनेशन? द फर्स्ट मैरिनेशन इज लाइम जूस, जिंजर गार्लिक पेस्ट, सॉल्ट. ओके. क्या करता है फर्स्ट मैरिनेशन? टेंडराइज. क्यों टेंडराइज करता है?
Acid acts on the protein.
एसिड एक्ट्स ऑन द प्रोटीन. अच्छा, और क्या करता है वो?
To soften the meat.
ओके.
It breaks the cells.
एक्चुअली नहीं, हम कहते हैं कि वो टेंडराइज होता है. चिकन ऑलरेडी टेंडर है. आप चिकन को अगर बिना मैरिनेट किए तवे पे पका दोगे तो क्या वो बहुत हार्ड होगा मीट? इट वोंट बी. इट विल स्टिल कुक जूसी. सो द फर्स्ट मैरिनेशन इज रियली नॉट फॉर टेंडराइजेशन. आई मीन वी हैव ग्रोन अप बिलीविंग इट्स फॉर टेंडराइजेशन, बट द रियलिटी इज नॉट टेंडराइजेशन.
फॉर फ्लेवरिंग.
हाँ, गुड फ्लेवरिंग. अब फ्लेवर क्यों, कैसे?
From ginger.
चलो हम बात करते जाते हैं और साथ साथ मैरिनेट करते जाते हैं. प्लीज ब्रिंग आउट द चिकन. Can you drain the water of this? हाँ बताओ कैसे करते हैं इसमें, फ्लेवर कैसे आता है बताओ. लॉक है. हाँ जी, the dried, very good. चलो, you want to marinate? Yeah. Put this is without water. इसमें ना क्लीन डस्टर लेके या पेपर टॉवल लेके इसको डैब इट completely water. So first step, remove all the water from your meat. अब इसमें बात करते हैं कि पानी क्यों हटाना है हमने. Why will remove the water?
Because chicken will the marination will not stick properly to the chicken.
First step. No, let's listen to him. The chicken will leave the water. है ना? Why will chicken leave the water? Salt. Now tell me, join the stories. Flavor. Salt. What does salt play a role here? जोड़ो सोचो. आप लोग ना सोचते नहीं हो.
Taste.
सोचो. हाँ?
Give the taste.
Okay, let's go back to your 8th or 9th class physics.
Osmosis.
Well done. Osmosis. Osmosis में क्या होता है?
The salt draws out the water from the meat.
Okay. And फिर उसके अलावा एक और चीज़ पढ़ी होगी 9th में. Osmosis के बाद following point of osmosis. उसी के रिगार्डिंग कुछ पढ़ा होगा. पहले ऑस्मोसिस पढ़ा, फिर कुछ और पढ़ा होगा. हिंट देता हूँ, इक्विलिब्रियम. पढ़ा था word equilibrium?
Yes.
What does equilibrium mean?
Equal and opposite forces
हाँ
acting in the same.
So osmosis का क्या होता है? Equilibrium?
Salt draws out water.
Yeah, and then so one is osmosis. Second step is?
Then the chicken absorbs the.
नहीं, tell me the word. Osmosis and reverse osmosis. What does reverse osmosis mean? So, some garlic and some ginger. एक इंडियन खाने में ना हमेशा आप ध्यान रखना कि जो जिंजर गार्लिक का रेशियो होगा ना दैट विल बी गार्लिक मोर. So 60% of garlic, 40% of ginger. And in some cases you will also see chefs using just the water of the ginger. Because कई बार जिंजर में बहुत सारे रेशे होते हैं and वो कई बार मुंह में आते हैं, so people avoid that. Right? Okay, I would recommend that you sanitize your hands and use your hands. देखो हिंदुस्तानी खाने में ना it is very important one to feel and there's a warmth of your hand which will help in marinations of the meat. ठीक है? I understand the logic and hygiene behind it. If you're working in a guest area, because ये guest को समझाना बहुत मुश्किल है. So if it's in the guest area, then we definitely have to use the gloves because the guests have to see we are working hygienically. But in a back area kitchen, you're supposed to wash your hands and sanitize them nicely. You need to cut your nails so there's no contamination basically. Then you're free to use your hands. Right? Your mother has been cooking for you from 30 years. Does she wear gloves in the kitchen? कितनी बार आप बीमार पड़े हो माँ के हाथ का खाना खा के? Never, ना? Because this is about hygiene. It's about sanitation. It's about cleaning of the kitchen. In olden time, people, would not let you enter with chappal inside the kitchen. But that's the level of hygiene in the kitchen, right? Okay. And now salt. কোথায় আছে নাম? নুন? Just check if you have salt. हाँ, so हम वापस आते हैं अपनी थ्योरी पे. Okay, always check. Lot of people mistake salt for castor sugar. बहुत बार किचन में मिक्स हुआ पड़ा होता है. Okay, so some salt. Now I want to knead it like a dough. And you'll see the difference. और आप मुझे डिफरेंस 5 मिनट बाद बताओगे कि क्या होता जा रहा है चिकन को, ठीक है? So that is called the first marination. This will stay for half an hour and now we are going back to the theory. So we are massaging the chicken with salt, ginger and garlic. What is happening now? What is salt doing? Drawing out the moisture from inside the chicken. When there will be a concentration of salt on the outside, then what will happen as the law of equilibrium? The concentration of the salt outside and the concentration of the salt inside has to be equal. So the moment all the salt draws out on the outside, it will start taking the salt back in. इतना समझ गए? So that is called the reverse osmosis. अब जब वो अंदर लेगा, आपको क्या लगता है? सिर्फ salt अंदर जाएगा? क्या जा रहा है अंदर?
Ginger, garlic, juice and flavors.
That is how it flavors deep within. Which means that if you have to flavor your chicken with jeera powder, with red chili powder, with things like that, the time is now to add those things now so that they get inside. ये तो हो गया पुराना टेक्निक. What is the new technique? Let's say हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है फर्स्ट मैरिनेशन का और हमें आज टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करनी है. What is the technology available? मसाज करते जाओ साथ साथ, बात सुनो, हाथ चलते रहे. Okay. नई टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है?
सूवी.
यार सूवी तो बहुत ऊपर हो गया ना. उसके नीचे पहला स्टेप क्या है सूवीद का? First step of sous vide. Okay, sous vide is correct. But sous vide is cooking. Yeah. But what do you do before you sous vide?
Vacuum sealing.
Vacuum sealing. What does vacuum do? आपने देखा कभी vacuum machine ऑपरेट की है? Never? Okay. Do you have vacuum machine in college? नहीं. Okay. Industrial exposure गया? So industrial exposure में आप देखना, when you put a watermelon inside एक watermelon का piece लेके, which is not very bright red in color, थोड़ा सा पिंक है, थोड़ा सा वाइट है, थोड़ा सा रेड है, उसके पीस को अगर आप वैक्यूम पैक मशीन में डालते हैं तो सबसे पहले उसमें हवा भरती है. और हवा भरने के साथ में ऐसे लगता है जैसे लिक्विड बॉईल हो रहा है, क्योंकि उस टाइम वो उसका इतना प्रेशर बढ़ा रहा है कि ऑल द लिक्विड फ्रॉम द वाटरमेलन इज कमिंग आउट एंड देन द वैक्यूम हैपेंस, all the juices go back into the watermelon. That is called compressing the water, compressing the fruits, compressed watermelon. And that compressed watermelon becomes bright reddish in color like a tuna fish. क्योंकि उसका जितना भी कलर था अलग अलग स्पॉट्स में वो सारा बाहर निकला और फिर सारा अंदर चला गया. So if you have to make green colored watermelon, you will take rocket lettuce का juice, because spinach juice will be very bitter. So arugula, kale, any greens, or make chlorophyll. You know, people making chlorophyll with different herbs like chervil, tarragon, some bit of arugula. You make nice juice of this. You compress the watermelon with green juice. So all the color will come in and the green color. So you'll have a watermelon which is green in color. You want to vacuum pack your apple wedges with saffron and sugar syrup. It will become yellow deep inside because the color and the flavor, everything will go deep in. जब आप उस apple को cut करोगे, it will be yellow inside. Okay, that's called compressed fruits. So that is the most amazing thing to do to your kebabs. When you make your kebabs, vacuum pack them so that all the flavors go deep within. Okay, that will be your first step. So अभी क्या हुआ, आपको कुछ feel हो रहा है?
So it has gotten softened up.
Okay.
It's a little slippery.
Okay.
And
जब आपने पहले शुरू किया था चिकन से और अब में कुछ feel है?
some, I can feel the aroma.
Okay.
Ginger
और
and garlic.
चिपचिपा हो रहा है?
Not yet.
Okay, फिर करते रहो. You will suddenly see it getting dried up and an oil kind of a thing coming on your hand. There's no oil yet, but there's a fat from the chicken, etc., which is coming. This is always the first step of chicken marination. Okay? So after 5 minutes, we will leave it on the side and rest it for not more than 15 minutes when you massaged it. 15 to 20 minutes, that is your first step. Second thing what we should do is now is put the makhni on. Okay? Okay. So let's have the makhni mise en place on top.
Yes.
So this is chicken tikka marination. तो इसको अभी के लिए we can put it on side. जो खाली होता जा रहा है बस डालते जाना. ये हमें बाद में चाहिए, ये भी हमें बाद में चाहिए, ये भी हमें बाद में चाहिए. This is in the finishing. Okay. Always first check your ingredients. So we need degi mirch. Okay, can you open this packet? अब हो रहा है फिर थोड़ा सा slimy sticky होता जा रहा है. Very good. Okay. So once our chicken tikka का first marination is done, then we will come back to the second marination of chicken tikka. But उसके पहले, because this is going to take at least 45 minutes to cook the gravy, okay? टमाटर और दही, ये दो चीज़ें इंडियन कुकिंग में which will take 45 minutes to 1 hour of cooking, always. ठीक है? Even Italians, if you make any concasse or something, it will take that much amount of time. So there are 2-3 ways that you will see people also doing makhni in the hotels. And I'll tell you the difference of what we are going to do now and what is done in the hotel. In a hotel, किसी ने देखी है मखनी बनते बल्क में होटल में? या तो बताइए कैसे बनाते हो?
You boil the tomatoes with the onions, then you blend it.
Okay, onions. Some people don't put onions. है ना, तो अलग अलग recipes हैं. ठीक है. Some put onions to save cost. It becomes a little bit more creamy. Okay, whatever. So whatever is the hotel recipe, but the process is you put the tomatoes to boil with ginger, garlic, and some salt. Okay, like a tomato puree, cooked tomato puree, and it's boiled for 45 minutes, 1 hour. तो उसमें टमाटर पक जाता है. ठीक है. Then you puree and you strain. To strain to get rid of the skin, to get rid of the seeds, etc. Clear? Okay. फिर उसके बाद उस मखनी को set करते हैं. Setting means, okay. So cashew nut is also used for thickening. So people also boil with the cashew nuts. So cashew nuts और टमाटर को साथ boil करते हैं. बट कई जगह जब आप बहुत बल्क में बना रहे हैं देन इसका अलग से पेस्ट बनाते हैं. यू बॉयल दीज कैश्यू नट्स एंड यू मेक अ सेपरेट पेस्ट. So once your cooked tomato puree is ready, your tomato paste is ready, your butter is there, and your degi mirch is there, then you do a little tadka. That you heat the butter, you add degi mirch, you add ginger garlic paste, you add the tomato puree, you add the cashew nut paste, and you make a thick makhni gravy. And to that, you leave that in a store which will last you for 1 or 2 days because इसमें अब cashew nut पड़ गया. And फिर उसको जब आला कार्ट स्टेशन पे लाते हैं तो थोड़ा सा क्रीम और हनी डाल के सेट करके रखते हैं. उसको बोलते हैं मखनी सेट करना. दिस इज द प्रोसेस एंड इट इज ओनली डन इन द होटल्स बिकॉज आपको वो मखनी 3, 4, 5 दिन चलानी है. आपका जो एक बेस बनेगा वो हफ्ते के लिए बन जाएगा. पीपल विल यूज 500 किलो टोमेटोज और 300 किलो टोमेटोज एंड मेक अ प्यूरी एंड कीप दैट. प्यूरी विल नॉट स्पॉइल, दे विल वैक्यूम पैक, दे विल फ्रीज, ऑल दैट हैपेंस. बट अभी हम क्या करेंगे, सिंस हमें आज अभी यूज करना है ये, तो विल डू द तड़का स्ट्रेट अवे एंड पुट दिस मखनी अप फॉर कुकिंग. ठीक है, done. So I need a pot, yeah, saucepan. I need some whole khada masala.
Yes. You said when we do a pancreatic cooking
Yeah.
in gravy,
Yes.
we first grind the cashew nut. So why we will grind the cashew nut when we will put it together with the tomato?
हाँ, because अगर हम टमाटर के साथ पका के बेस रखेंगे ना तो जल्दी खराब हो जाएगा. So we don't use cashew nuts there. We use cashew nut as a paste in finishing of the gravy a la carte. So that because ये cashew nut जो है बहुत जल्दी फर्मेंट होते हैं, इसका शेल्फ लाइफ 1 दिन रहेगा बस. If I put cashew nut, I cannot store my gravy for more than 2 days. वो फर्मेंट हो जाएगा, खराब हो जाएगा. So cashew nut will always be used as a paste while picking up the dish. Okay, I need whole khada masala like green cardamom.
Fenny.
Oh, very good. So are these boiled? No. तो हम अभी बॉईल करने रखते हैं. ठीक, चलो. अभी हम 2 चीज़ें एक साथ बॉईल करने रख रहे हैं. एक वाइट ग्रेवी और एक टमाटर फॉर मखनी ग्रेवी. वाइट ग्रेवी आप लोगों ने बनाई है कभी?
Yes sir.
बताओ कैसे बनाते हैं.
We chop the onion,
Okay.
pieces cashew nut
Okay.
and green chili together,
Okay.
and then strain it off and blend it into a fine puree.
Okay.
Then in a lagan or a pot,
Okay.
we add oil and butter,
Okay.
temper it with whole spices,
Good.
then add ginger garlic paste, and then add the puree which we had made earlier, and cook it for approximately 20-30 minutes on a simmering heat.
Okay. Good. अभी देखो जो इन्होंने बात बताई उसको हम ब्रेकअप करते हैं इनटू स्टेजेस. पहले इन्होंने बोला लगन, फिर आपने बोला घी और ऑयल.
Oil and butter. Yes.
Oil and butter, he said. Okay. Now, in a gravy, in Indian cooking, there are stages, and this is how you can make your own gravy colors, own gravy tastes, own gravy flavorings. So, first step is fats and oils. The amount, the type of fat that you use will determine the taste of your gravy. Okay? So any gravy can be made with anything. But you first write down A, oil and fats. Okay? B will be your base. C will be your thickening agent. D will be your flavoring agent. E will be your coloring agent. I'm telling you the scientific approach. एक आप एक्सेल शीट पे ना एक टेबल बना लो ऐसा ABCDE करके. ठीक है, और अभी हम वाइट ग्रेवी को इस ABCDE में डालते हैं. सो A इज फैट्स एंड ऑयल्स. यू कैन यूज नॉट मस्टर्ड ऑयल इन दिस बिकॉज इट विल बी टू स्ट्रॉन्ग फ्लेवर. ठीक है, सो वी कैन यूज बटर, वी कैन यूज घी, वी कैन इवन यूज ऑयल. सो ऑयल आ गया. देन बेस क्या है इसका? अनियन. ठीक है, बॉइल्ड अनियन पेस्ट. बॉइल्ड अनियन पेस्ट. अब सिंस हमने इसको वाइट रखना है, ठीक है, तो इसका थिकनिंग एजेंट और क्या कर सकते हैं? कैश्यू नट नहीं है तो और नहीं है तो मेलन सीड और नहीं है तो आलमंड और नहीं है तो चार मगज और नहीं है तो हम ये कैसे डिसाइड करते हैं कि कौन सा नट डालना है?
Texture.
Money.
Yes. That is the thing. So that's why char magas. बिकॉज द चीपेस्ट नट अवेलेबल. एक टाइम में चीपेस्ट नट वॉज चिरौंजी. अब बहुत रेसिपी में आपने चिरौंजी, पॉपी, डेसिकेटेड कोकोनट देखा होगा, मोस्टली कोरमा ग्रेवीज एंड ऑल. टुडे द प्राइस ऑफ चिरौंजी इज 3 times मोर ऑफ द आलमंड्स. 3-4 हज़ार रुपये किलो है चिरौंजी. तो आजकल रेसिपीज में आप नहीं देखेंगे शेफ चिरौंजी डालते हैं, राइट. इट्स अ थिकनिंग एजेंट. दे ऑल हैव द सेम पर्पस. हाँ, कोई टेस्ट थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा देता है, कोई कम देता है, बट समथिंग लाइक कैश्यू नट्स. नाउ ये कैश्यू नट्स बहुत पैसे लगते हैं इसके, बट व्हाट यू ऑल्सो गेट इज टुकड़ा. बट टुकड़ा मीन्स दिस इज 1 cashew nut. You also get 1/2 at a different price. You get 1/4 at a different price and 1/6. 1/6 के बाद जो होता है ना, वो कूड़ा कचड़ा होता है. So उससे अच्छा you use charmag and you will see that maybe 1/4 of this tukda and the charmagas price is same. Now you can decide कि I can use charmagas or I want to use cashew nuts. Because
cashew nut price is same at the moment.
At the moment, okay. So if that is the thing, I will still go for cashew nut because charmagas के ऊपर ना एक seed coating होता है and charmagas ferment जल्दी होता है.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, so that is the things you have to decide. So you must know thickening agents. So you as a student must know different fats and oils. You must know different bases like onions, like tomatoes, like spinach, like घी का base, pumpkin का base. ठीक है? इसके बाद एक मैजिक दिखाऊंगा आपको जब ये थ्योरी बता रहा हूँ मैं. तो अपने थिकनिंग एजेंट हमने डिसाइड कर लिया. अब हमने करना है फ्लेवरिंग एजेंट. सो फ्लेवर्स चाहिए मुझे. अब जहाँ मैंने इसमें देगी मिर्च और ये का फ्लेवर दे दिया तो कलर सत्यानाश हो गया. सो आई वांट स्पाइसी. सो व्हाट शुड आई यूज? ग्रीन चिलीज, ओके, और वाइट पेपर और समथिंग स्पाइसी. एक ना सफ़ेद मिर्च आती है जिसको बोलते हैं कंठारी चिलीज, जो साउथ इंडिया में वो यूज़ करते हैं टू मेक कर्ड चिलीज. You know, they are like small pappad. So they are slightly creamish in color, very spicy. You can use that paste. Explore कि क्या चीज़ अवेलेबल है. Don't just follow things. ग्रीन चिलीज आपको फिर कलर थोड़ा सा ग्रीनिश टिंज में देगा. ग्रीन चिली के बीज का पेस्ट बना के डालो ना. किसी ने ट्राई किया है? Why not? Think maybe yes, that's a spicing agent, so it will keep more whiter in color. Now more flavoring agents. So then there is a difference between flavoring agent and an aromatic agent. Aroma spices are always added in the last. So aromas, white gravy है तो it's always royal. So royal gravies है तो cardamom, mace, है ना, ऐसे flavors. Now that you understood this gravy? Okay. अब मैं आपको बोलता हूँ कि सेम टच में मुझे एक पीली कोरमे की ग्रेवी बनानी है. पीली ग्रेवी बनानी है मुझे. So instead of white gravy, I am going to make a yellow gravy. येलो में अब चॉइसेस ओपन हो गए. अब इस बेस की जगह हम क्या क्या यूज कर सकते हैं? आई डोंट वांट यू टू यूज टोमेटोज. सॉरी, येलो बेल पेपर्स. वेरी गुड. रॉयल घराना तो पटियाला की एक रेसिपी है पीली मिर्च का कुक्कड़, एंड दैट यूजेस द येलो बेल पेपर्स एज अ प्यूरे. व्हाट एल्स कैन यू यूज? pumpkin, tomato और अनियन का मिक्सचर, एंड दैट्स अ येट अनदर ग्रेवी फ्रॉम अफगानिस्तान. इट्स कॉल्ड कसरे पुख्तान. Pukhtan gravy is made with red pumpkin, sliced tomato, sliced onion, cooked like a makhni gravy. ठीक है? अब देखो आपका माइंड खुलेगा कि पीली ग्रेवी बनानी है. सेम प्रिंसिपल्स फॉलो करूंगा. घी लूंगा, रेड अनियन की प्यूरी लूंगा, इसकी प्यूरी लूंगा, पंपकिन की, उसमें थिकनिंग पेस्ट डालूंगा, कैश्यू नट. अब फ्लेवरिंग के लिए इफ आई एम पुटिंग टर्मरिक, इट विल बिकम मोर येलो. इफ आई पुट सैफरन, इट विल बिकम एप्रिकॉट कलर. तो अगर मैं सैफरन डालूंगा तो मेरे स्पाइसेस भी अच्छे होंगे ना. BMW में मारुति के पार्ट्स नहीं डल सकते. सो देन आई विल पुट कार्डमम, आई विल पुट. बट इफ यू वांट टू मेक अ राजस्थानी येलो ग्रेवी, सो इट्स रस्टिक, गट्टा बनाना है उसके साथ, तो मैं पंपकिन भी यूज़ नहीं करूँगा. मैं दही के बेस पे आ जाऊँगा. बिकॉज राजस्थान में दही ज़्यादा मिलता था, वाटर की स्केर्सिटी थी, फ्रेश वेजिटेबल्स उगते नहीं थे. सो हैंस लॉट ऑफ वेजिटेबल्स हैव घी. सो आई विल यूज द सेम प्रिंसिपल. मे बी सम अनियन, yogurt, thickening agents, coloring agents, spicing agents, and make gravy. So please think Indian food as A, B, C, D, E, and break it down into Excel sheets and create your own gravies tomorrow. ठीक है? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So now we'll go on to the first process of making our white gravy. So white gravy में आपने बोला boiled onion. Boiled onion में आपको white gravy चाहिए ना, बिल्कुल So selection first of the onion that I need white onions, not the red onions. Red onion को boil करोगे तो कौन सा pinkish hue आ जाता है, ठीक है? Okay. किस किसने कभी boiled onion बनाया? सबने बनाया? कैसे boil करते हो onion को? कितना पानी डालते हो? Okay. थोड़ा दूध है? I'll use a little cream. तो थोड़ा सा नमक लिया, बस 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 इतना पानी आप डालो। मैं बस इतना पानी डालूंगा, बिकॉज अगर आप पानी 1:2 या कुछ डालोगे, आपका जब प्याज बॉईल हो जाएगा तो आप क्या करोगे? Gone. Why do you want to throw the water? You want the water to get absorbed. And that is why the French developed the method of sous vide cooking, ताकि flavor loss ना हो। तो आपके पास जब machines हैं तो you have a next technology available. Just vacuum pack this with little milk, throw in some seeds, vacuum pack it, put it in the sous vide machine. आपका onion paste अपने आप होता रहेगा, ठीक है? So don't get carried away by these machineries. Try and use those machineries to your processes. ठीक है? और फिर एक आदत ऐसी बन जाती है, कल को sous vide नहीं है बोलेंगे शेफ हमारा white gravy अच्छा नहीं बन रहा, हमारे पास तो sous vide machine नहीं है. So that is not, and that is the problem. So you must use technology to your advantage, and don't ever use a technology as your scapegoat to say मेरे पास ये नहीं है, because हमने croissant तो हाथ से बेले हुए हैं, ठीक है? But today we have machines to do croissants. But I have seen hotels and chefs where croissant, the dough sheeter machine is conked off, they make croissant not available. कि हमारी dough sheeter काम नहीं कर रही है, okay? So that is not the way. Okay. So should I cover it? Should I not cover it? Some say cover, some say cover. But why do you even ask the question that should we cover it? क्या फर्क पड़ेगा?
If we don't cover it, the moisture will evaporate.
Okay. Yes.
If we don't cover that, then we will not going to stop. We don't want to cover.
Okay.
Then that scum will float away.
Okay. What else? मैं क्यों ये मैंने पूछा कि इसको कवर करूँ या ना करूँ? कवरिंग इम्पोर्टेंट क्यों है?
It will cover it. It will come on the top on the plate, and then will it again go into the food. That's why we remember to cover it because.
So, knowledge here for you to remember is, and this is what I want to bring you back to the knowledge component कि आपको कहाँ का knowledge के ऊपर stress करना है. Like अभी तक knowledge about oils and fats, knowledge about bases, knowledge about flavoring agent, spicing agent, thickening agent, souring agent, coloring agent, flavoring agent, aromatic agent. So जब आप इतने सारे ingredients को उस categories में डालते जाओगे, that's another knowledge about the pigments present in a vegetable. Every vegetable has either an alkaline or an acid. ये दो चीज़ें हैं, alkaline और acid. And there are different pigments present in different vegetables. वो इसीलिए लाल कलर का दिख रहा है क्योंकि इसमें एक पिगमेंट है called carotene, which makes it look red in color. It has a pigment called flavons, which makes it white in color. Cauliflower has anthocyanin, which makes it that greenish, whitish in color. You must understand that every vegetable has acid and alkali both. दोनों चीज़ें प्रेजेंट होती हैं. किसी में एसिड ज़्यादा होता है, जैसे टमाटर है तो एसिड ज़्यादा है इसलिए खट्टा होता है, राइट? बट किसी चीज़ में अल्कलाइन ज़्यादा होता है. एंड ऑल दिस एसिड एंड अल्कली इफेक्ट डिफरेंटली ऑन डिफरेंट पिगमेंट्स. सो एसिड इज द फ्रेंड ऑफ कैरोटीन्स, whereas alkali is the enemy. Chlorophyll, alkali is the friend of chlorophyll. Acid is an enemy. जब आप इसको कवर करके, अगर मैं पालक बॉईल कर रहा हूँ तो पालक में एसिड है. आई वॉन्ट द एसिड टू एवोपरेट बिकॉज वो एसिड उसको ख़राब करेगा. तो मैं खुली बॉईल करूँगा स्पिनिच टू गेट अ ब्राइट ग्रीन कलर, या उसमें थोड़ा सोडा डालूंगा बिकॉज इट्स एल्कलाइन कि उसका ब्राइट ग्रीन कलर हो जाएगा. लेकिन जैसे ही मैं सोडा डालूंगा तो कलर तो ग्रीन हो जाएगा, बट उसका जो फाइबर्स है ना वो स्लाइमी हो जाएंगे. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द इफेक्ट्स ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स. सो बाय नेचर आई विल कुक द वेजिटेबल स्पिनच ओपन so that all the acid evaporates away. But I'll cook the tomatoes covered because there is acid present in them. Acid is good for carotene. I would like the acid to be present and enhance the color of the vegetable. So when you cook a tomato gravy covered, it will be bright red in color. If you cook it uncovered, it will be slightly orangish. So those are the effects. So those are the theory that you need to delve in. Okay. So अभी ये boil हो रहा है, और जब ये boil हो रहा है, तो what we can do is we can put some spices. You have to be very careful with mace. बहुत थोड़ी डालो because ये bitter हो जाती है. If you ever taste this mace, it's very very bitter. So very little. Then we need some of green cardamom. हमारे पास कुछ ऐसा है क्रश करने के लिए, like हमाम दस्ता. So this is boiling. We want the milk to reduce. Why are we adding milk? And smoothness. So हमें white gravy smooth चाहिए, हमें bright white चाहिए, तो हमने सब white इसमें चीज़ें डाल दी. ठीक है? Okay, good. Okay. Now I will start with the makhani gravy here. So makhani gravy, I will need a saucepan again. Thank you. So I will again need some lychee. Yes. हाँ कोई बात नहीं. चलो जी, who wants to make makhani? Oh, trip हो गया. Too much of load. Okay, that's cooked yogurt. What is that color?
Yellow.
Yellow color was for? No, I don't need color. Really? क्या हुआ? शॉक हो रहा है कुछ? I think some electric thing is burning. We don't need a microwave actually. You can remove the microwave. It's okay. All these things happen in the kitchen. समझ आ रहा है जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And are you being able to relate to it? Yes. That's most important thing, because I want to break this norm away from your mind about recipes. Don't cook with recipes. Break free. Yeah. Recipes, okay, it's important to start with, but once you get the knowledge, then I think you should go ahead and create your own dishes. How else will you otherwise ever create in your life? You'll keep just making what others have made. How will we have new dishes coming into our country? How will we create things? How will we make a name for ourselves? You know, what will be our USP? But before you do that, remember small things I'm talking about. Even knowing what pan to use. Making a onion tomato masala in a kadhai will give you a different color to that to make in a lagan. So before your fat, you also have to make another column to say utensil. Which utensil you'll make it in. You'll never be able to make a good yogurt based gravy in an aluminium container or a lohe ka container. The color will go bad, it will split. So that's why you need brass, you need lagan, with kalai kiya hua. Now you have to understand what is kalai. There are a lot of videos, you'll see that, how do they do kalai of things. Otherwise, things will react with copper. Acidic things like yogurt will react and it will cause poison. It creates a thing called verdigris, which is the copper rust, right? And it's not great for health. So selection of utensils, selection of, even selection of palta. Palta देखा है आपने? किस टाइप के पलटे होते हैं? So there's a straight palta, there's a curved palta. आगे से curve होता है. Now imagine if you're using the curved palta on a straight pot. It's only scraping half a centimeter. Are you getting it? So you need a straight palta so that you are able to scrape a larger thing. But if you're doing it in a lagan or a kadhai, then you need a round palta. Then you are scraping the larger area. Your gravy will turn out differently because वो कहीं ना कहीं नीचे जलेगी. Done? Ready है ये? On करें? I think sparking हो रहा है. या एक चलाएं एक टाइम में.
Who invented who first introduced the idea of making gravy in Indian kitchens?
It is very, very old. It was not one person. It's not one person. It is just.
Chef, you can step back. It's like smoking again.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put this off.
Switch it off first.
है ना, तुम लोग बोल सकते हो शेफ बाली आए तो उन्होंने आग लगा दी.
Chef, I was watching a video of eating that palak gravy. So while blanching the palak, they added sugar. So it was something new to me. We add salt, but sugar. Why they add sugar?
So sugar, even in green peas, green chlorophyll,
Right.
where sugar enhances the sweetness and the color. Or a combination of sugar and salt. Both sugar and salt.
Okay.
And sugar firms up the fiber also. So when you're making the paste, it's the fibers, it doesn't become mashy.
Okay.
You don't find puree.
Okay.
क्या बना रहे थे? हरा कबाब बना रहे थे?
नहीं वो मतलब ट्रेड टेस्ट था, मिस्ट्री बॉक्स.
चलो टाइम क्यों वेस्ट करना है, तब तक मलाई कोफ्ता बनाते हैं, ठीक है, जब तक गैस आता है. तो मलाई कोफ्ते के लिए हमें गैस ही चाहिए. तो लेट्स हैव द पनीर.
मलाई कोफ्ता. That one.
थोड़े कहीं रेजिन्स पड़े थे ना मेरे पास. चॉप रेजिन्स. चॉप रेजिन्स. Do you have a small food pan in which we can mash?
Yes, we have the chopping boards.
No, we want to mash like a food pan. Yeah.
Get the small one.
That one? नहीं, वो तो उसके लिए. We need ऐसा कुछ स्टील का पैन to mash the पनीर. मलने के लिए. वो फ्राइंग के बाद उसमें डालेंगे ना. ये छोटा हो जाएगा. ऐसा फूड पैन है, ये ऐसे में कर सकते हैं. कैसा ऐसा? हाँ, ला दो. ये
Sure, this one is working.
is working. मखनी का मतलब मक्खन। तो जब नाम ही मखनी है तो 1 किलो में कितना डलेगा? 250 ग्राम। और बाद में 200 ग्राम और ऊपर से। So don't wait for it to get very hot. Put your spices when it's slightly medium, because what happens is that spices will immediately burn in a hot oil, and again it has volatile acids, so we want it to slowly release the flavor. Sometimes people find the flavor of the ghee and all very off-putting, and that is the reason these flavorful spices were used. In ours it's called ghee durust karna, okay, which means that uski smell hatana basically. It's used mostly as a perfuming thing. Now, so we will, oh acha, raisins stage out. So, this much of garlic, ginger, so I have a spoon. It's okay, I'll use. Okay, garlic, ginger, देगी मिर्च, and some water. So you'll always make this into a paste. Because क्या होता है, जब आप जैसे स्पाइसेस हॉट ऑयल में डालते हो ना, तो immediately tend to burn. So it's always good idea to make spices into a paste along with ginger garlic. जितनी देर में पानी evaporate होगा, you will have a control over your gravy. आपने देखा होगा कई बार डिश टेस्ट करते हैं और शायद बताते हैं कि मिर्ची थोड़ी इसमें कच्ची है। कैसे पता चलता है कि मिर्च कच्ची है? हाउ डू यू नो?
Sir, we can keep the dust down.
तो मिर्ची तो स्पाइसी है ना, वहाँ को तो फील होगी। हाँ, कब होती है? जब कच्ची होती है, पक्की होती है? नहीं, जब कच्ची होती है ना, उसकी सेंसेशन मुंह में होती है। जब पकती है मिर्च तो यहाँ लगती है। So that is the difference. So when I just put this, you can taste a little bit. You will feel the sensation in your mouth. After 45 minutes, you will start feeling it here yourself. Somebody start to make it. ऐसा एक पेपर है, देखो इन्होंने सडनली बीच बीच में क्या कर रहे हैं। ये हम सब इंडियन शेफ्स की नहीं, पूरे वर्ल्ड ओवर शेफ्स की प्रॉब्लम है। क्या करते हैं हम उसको हिलाने लगते हैं, है ना? सो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज कीप अ पेपर हियर. The paper will not burn and it will also prevent your induction from getting scratches. So it will still work. If you stir a little bit, they will not create any scratches on your induction. आपको इंडक्शन की मैं एक और सीक्रेट बताता हूँ. ये देखो, ये देख रहे हो बॉईल हो रहा है, अभी बॉईल हो रहा है. it is off the base. लेकिन अभी भी connect हो रहा है. This is called electromagnetic induction, which means if you have 3 small knobs and place the pan, you will reduce your energy consumption by 50%. है ना? So chefs are responsible for making the profit for the organization. These are the small things where you can save. Okay, so अभी इसमें ginger garlic paste, देगी मिर्च और मक्खन, and now what we'll do is we will add the tomatoes. So you can add the tomatoes now. The percentages, you must remember recipes in percentages and not so much in grammage, because आपको ना वो ज़्यादा अच्छी तरह से याद रहेगा. So always remember, in Indian cooking, अगर आपको 1 किलो मटन पकाना है या 1 किलो चिकन पकाना है, तो उसमें आपको 20% फैट चाहिए होगा. 1 किलो का 20% कितना होता है? 200. ठीक है, तो आपको 200 ग्राम फैट चाहिए किसी भी चीज़ में. जब पक जाएगा खाना तो फैट ऊपर आ जाएगा. ऊपर जब फैट आ जाएगा, you can always skim it off. You can use the same fat as the rogan for the next dish. But it's important to cook that meat in that oil. So 20% fat. 30% you need onion. तो 1 किलो मीट में कितना प्याज डलेगा? 300 ग्राम. ठीक है, तो 20% ऑयल डलेगा, 30% अनियन डलेगा, 60 ग्राम जिंजर गार्लिक पेस्ट डलेगा, 50 से 60 ग्राम देगी मिर्च डलेगी, नमक स्वाद अनुसार, घी औकात अनुसार. And flavoring and spices, your thing, don't add too much of spices. In 1 kilo of meat, 5 to 6 green cardamom are more than enough. 3 black cardamoms are more than enough. 1 bay leaf is more than enough. 2 small pieces of cinnamon are more than enough. You can play very less roles on the spices per se, because these spices will not flavor the dish so much. The flavoring has to come with the sprinkle of garam masala on top. तो ये जो भी खड़ा मसाला है ना, बे लीफ, इलायची, सब कुछ, ये जो हम ऑयल में डाल रहे हैं, इससे अच्छा है कि उसका गरम मसाला बनाया जाए एंड स्प्रिंकल किया जाए. यू विल यूज़ 1/4 ऑफ द रेसिपी. यू विल हैव मोर फ्लेवर्स. That's working? Put it there, doesn't matter. नहीं चल रहा. अच्छा. चंदन मिल गया किसो. Machines are jealous of each other. की ना फिलिंग बना लेंगे अंदर के लिए। तो फिलिंग के लिए हमें चाहिए थोड़ा सा रेजिन्स, थोड़ी हरी मिर्च, धनिया। Can you think of some other creative fillings? Instead of raisin, what can I use? Or plum, somebody said. What kind of plums? Chopped dates, yes. Or plum, somebody said, no. So what? Prunes, well done. Prune and ginger is a very, very nice combination. So some shahi jeera, some chopped cashew nuts, chopped ginger, that induction will work now? या फिर ट्रिप हो जाएगा ना? हाँ? 2 at a time. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. So what we can do is maybe somebody can run up to kitchen. इसको सिर्फ 1 चम्मच घी डाल के ना उसमें हल्का सा ब्राउन करके सौते करके that's it. ठीक है? So you go. Just 1 spoon of ghee. Just saute a little bit till that cashew nut gets light color and then bring it up. Just between like Dara Singh and Tom Cruise. So flavors, the flavor of Shahi Jeera is very, very different. This is a family of caraway seeds. So if you taste this and then taste the Jeera, you'll find the difference. They just look alike, but they have a completely different flavor profile. So this is more nutty. This is has a slight bitter taste, but has a very unique flavor to it. अब हम चिकन को हो गया टाइम, तो चिकन की मैरिनेशन का कर लेते हैं। मस्टर्ड ऑयल हाँ ठीक है मस्टर्ड। Okay, now let's just cover it with a steel plate or something and allow it to cook on a.
So on this it,
Yes, like on this. No, I will use it here only. So shift it back because this was on 1200. अभी हम चिकन टिक्का मैरिनेशन के लिए कुछ करेंगे। आपने देखा कैसे करते हैं वो लोग?
जैसे कि मलाई कोफ्ता को मलते हैं वैसे
क्या मलते हैं? दही।
दही
ओके, फिर
then they add the
Degi mirch and the mustard.
ऐसे डालते हैं देगी मिर्च?
No, with the mustard oil.
ओके
Needed mustard oil.
ठीक है ओके डन फिर क्या करते हैं?
They add degi mirch.
Okay.
Then they add all the ginger garlic paste
Okay.
and some kasuri methi, some
राइट यस
Garam masala.
तो एक खूब सारा मैरिनेशन बनाते हैं और उस मैरिनेशन में वो चिकन को बिल्कुल स्विम करा देते हैं है ना
So for some places for the marination they add
Yeah.
cheese also. And what I've seen, like it was they called it Indian roux with ghee and besan. They would cook together like a roux,
Yeah.
and then
It's called
they-
bandhani.
bandhani.
Yeah, it's called bandhani in Hindi. So kebabs कहाँ से आए हैं? What is the origin of kebabs in our country?
Persia.
Persia. What does kebab mean? Comes from a Persian word. What does Punjab mean?
Punjab, land of 5 rivers.
What is river in Punjab? No, in the word Punjab, what is river? Panj means panch. Aab. So aab means river, right? Kebab. What does aab mean? Water.
Yes.
And come, aab. Less water is kebab. So the word come aab is a kebab. So kebab is dry. Kebab is flavored. The initial marinations of kebabs were just the whole rock salt, ginger garlic, and crushed black pepper. This was rubbed on the meat, right? And the oldest origins of this is traced back to almost 2000 years ago. It was called tikka namak mandi. The only thing it had was lamb, crushed black pepper, rock salt, ginger garlic, nothing else. And just the meat is massaged until it becomes white and tacky, and then it is just cooked on griller. Okay? And then that was the base. Then people started adding various things to it. So it should not stay without the pot. And then people started adding various things to it. So all this thing that we have learned has come from Turkey. Turkish kebab. If you see a murg malai kebab is like shish tau. Same marination. तो जो कबाब में कलर्स होते हैं ना वो या लाल होता है या पीला होता है या हरा होता है. अब आप कलरिंग स्पाइसेस में जाओ लाल देगी मिर्च येलो पीली मिर्च और सेम थिंग कुक लाइक दिस इन ऑयल बिकॉज आपको उसका कच्चापन निकालना है. ठीक है ज़्यादा कुक नहीं करना कि वो बर्न ना हो जाए. सो ऑलवेज मेक इट इनटू अ लिटिल पेस्ट एंड जस्ट कुक इट इन हॉट मस्टर्ड ऑयल. एक नॉर्मल इंडियन किचन में भर के पड़ा होता है. टर्मरिक कुक्ड इन ऑयल लाइक दैट, देगी मिर्च कुक्ड इन ऑयल लाइक दैट. इफ यू हैव टू मेक अ ग्रीन पेस्ट, स्पिनिच इज वन, बट स्पिनिच हैज़ अ वेरी रॉ काइंड ऑफ अ फ्लेवर, है ना. सो क्या आप करेंगे, मिंट लेंगे, थोड़ा धनिया लेंगे, थोड़ा स्प्रिंग अनियन 2-3 बार, and then grind it in a mixie like a pesto. Become bright green in color, and that green is can marination again. It already has oil. It's cooked. It will give a nice color, right? So we just cook the degi mirch. ठीक है? अब देखो, ये देखो, जब इसको हमने मसाज किया ना, पूरा मॉइस्चर वापस अंदर चला गया. And most of the time you'll see that when you don't pat dry the chicken and you start marinating, there's always a layer of water on top. वो water आपके marination को कभी चिपकने ही नहीं देगा. That is the first reason why we pat dried the meat. Then there was moisture. That is the reason why we massaged it with salt and ginger garlic paste. जब मैं कह रहा था ना चिपचिपा हो जाएगा. Now is the state. Now whoever massaged the meat, touch it. Does it feel dry to you? Now we massage it again. Now take it. अब देखो, आपको अचारी पनीर टिक्का बनाना है या अचारी मुर्ग टिक्का बनाना है, तो येलो मैरिनेशन bit of mango pickle or chili pickle blended and put it inside. आपको सौंफियाना टिक्का बनाना है तो दही, turmeric, सौंफ का powder. So all these things you can create your own kebabs with different flavorings. And water-based marination. Yogurt-based marinations are your yogurt cheese. I would tell you another thing, don't use yogurt. जब आप पनीर काटते हैं ना, पनीर का बहुत सारा छांटन बचता है. Take that paneer in a mixie, put ginger garlic paste, put little cream and blend it. You'll have a nice thick paste of cottage cheese. Use that for marination of your kebabs. It will not give you easily. ये सारा Nothing. Tikka means a morsel. छोटा पीस को टिक्का बोलते हैं.
It's a cut.
It's a cut. Yeah. Then is cream-based marination. Cream-based marination is malai, like a मुर्ग मलाई kebab, जिसमें चीज़ डालते हैं थोड़ी सी. अब चीज़ इंडियन ओरिजिन इमेजिन हम लोग अमूल चीज़ यूज़ करते हैं ना होटल में सब. This one we can wrap and put it on the side. This is ready. Okay, let's make the kofta. Now, wash your hands, sanitize them, and mash the paneer. तो कहा था कि बेसन डालते हैं, भुना हुआ बेसन और या रोस्टेड चना दाल पाउडर. So that is only for binding, because sometimes you see that liquid is coming out, it will not allow it to bind. So binding has to be given sometimes if needed be. ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हर कबाब में आपको binding चाहिए. And like I said, if you use cottage cheese, mash the cottage cheese and use that as this thing, you will not need anything else to bind, because that self binds everything properly. Chalo, put the paneer here, mash. Salt. और इसमें देखो क्या हो रहा है, मिल्क जो है ना रिड्यूस भी होता जा रहा है. तो मिल्क रिड्यूस होता है तो क्या बनता है? रबड़ी. ठीक है, रबड़ी रिड्यूस होती है तो क्या बनता है? इसीलिए कई बार कोरमा में खोया ग्रेट करके डाला जाता है, टू सेव द टाइम. अदरवाइज द ओल्डन टाइम्स द डिशेज वर कुक्ड इन मिल्क एंड रिड्यूस्ड टिल इट बिकम्स खोया. So that is a new ingredient that are coming to our life, khoya, which saves us a lot of time. अच्छी तरह दाने नहीं रहने चाहिए. Do we have salamander in the kitchen? You have salamander? Electric or gas one? Okay. So, to cook kebabs, you need a tandoor. If you don't have a tandoor, and if you want to do small kebab portion, like, rather than cooking it on the pan, the best thing would be to do it in a salamander. तो salamander में क्या आपके पास तंदूर की शीखें हैं? तो शीख में कबाब लगा के एक फूड पैन के ऊपर रख के salamander. फिर ऊपर से हीट, रेडिएटेड हीट. So now think technology, no? How does tandoor work? Charcoal burns, becomes red hot, emits white heat, infrared heat. What is coming from salamander? Infrared heat, radiated source. So let's go. Tikka in salamander, radiated heat, एक साइड से पकेगा. If you have a square seek, better, because you will be able to turn the square seek. तो दूसरी साइड से पक जाएगा. चिकन टिक्का रेडी. किचन में हाथ के साथ साथ किडनी का इस्तेमाल करना है, बहुत ज़रूरी है. If you have any questions, keep asking me. Yes. Kashmiri Sikh cuisine. So Kashmiri cuisine was also created by Emperor Jahangir. ठीक है? Do you know the Mughal history? Huh? So what is the story of Jahangir? Because वहाँ से I'll join the dots of Kashmiri Sikh. So Emperor Jahangir जो है वो किसका बेटा था? बाबर.
Sorry.
Akbar. ठीक है? He was banished from the kingdom. He was the most hated prince of this thing because he was very powerful. He was very nice, but at the same time he had a lot of fan following. But उसकी एक गलती थी. So his name was Salim. सलीम की एक बहुत बड़ी गलती थी. He fell in love with the mistress of Akbar, जिसको अकबर प्यार करता था. अनारकली, उसकी मोहब्बत के चक्कर में सलीम पड़ गए. And Akbar, to save the kingdom, banished him from his kingdom and put Anarkali behind the walls. So he was very distressed, and he left the kingdom and he went to Kashmir. Whilst he was going to Kashmir, he met one of the Sufi saints. And that is the time when the Sikh empire, the Sikh gurus are also coming in. The first guru was Guru Nanak, 1400 something. And this thing is about 1600s. 1500, 1600 start. When that Sufi saint told Emperor Jahangir that there is the sixth Guru called Guru Harkrishan. If you take Guru Harkrishan with you, you will not lose any war, and he'll be the good luck charm to you. So Guru Harkrishan was taken by Emperor Jahangir to Kashmir, and that is where the Sikh community of Kashmir also started from there. So there are a lot of Gurdwaras in Kashmir of the sixth Guru. We call them Chhati Padshahi, right? Which means the sixth Guru. And Emperor Jahangir, being Persian, he was lover of art, culture, craft, everything. So the cuisine he started in Kashmir again was more of yogurt based, more of flavors like saffron, a cockscomb flour called boval, right? So very, very nice flavors. And Kashmiri cooking is not something like you start in a regular Indian manner, like you don't bhunao things. You mix everything together, cook it on dum for 4-5 hours. It's mostly a dum cooking. So with that, since the Sikh clan was also going along with it, there was influence again from 1600 end of early of 1700 end, when after Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru, there was a lot of turmoil also in Punjab, and lot of kings acquired the northern kingdoms. Maharaja Ranjit Singh was one of them, who ruled Kashmir for almost 200 years. So Maharaja Gulab Singh and Maharaja Ranjit Singh, they had the province starting from Kashmir on to the Punjab area. So now the Punjabi food is more about onion, tomatoes, things like that. So staying in Kashmir over 200 years, that flavors got married with the Persian flavors. So like a Rogan Josh made with onion and tomatoes with soft flavor and Kashmiri spices is the Sikh Rogan Josh. A Pandit Rogan Josh is no onion, no garlic. Because Pandits can't eat onion. They can eat meat, but they eat without onion, garlic. Because in winters, December, January, February, March, April, 4 months, no vegetables will grow. So what are you supposed to eat? So either they dry their vegetables, so a lot of concept of dried vegetables in Kashmir, or they had to resort to eating meats. Like in Bengal, when people were staying near to the sea, they had to eat seafood, right? And there are still old people who call it niramij, right? Or even Italians or French who say fruit de mer, which means fruits of the sea. So हम इंसान ना जो खाना चाहते हैं उसका एक रीज़न माइंड में बना लेते हैं. So the Pandit cuisine is no onion, no garlic. The Muslim cuisine is onion, garlic, and Punjabi cuisine is onion, garlic, and tomatoes. So.
What's pran?
Pran is a Kashmiri onion. It's just like French shallots. And even in Kashmir, it's damn expensive, like 600 rupees a kilo.
It is commonly consumed by
all. It's grown in Kashmir.
Okay.
It won't grow anywhere else in the country. The climatic conditions are very European in Kashmir.
And we see the consumption of nature, that is lotus stem was quite high.
Very high.
In Kashmir.
And the lotus stem that comes from the Dal Lake is very different. The one that you get outside is not.
So just take this.
Yeah, now we'll put potato. So mash that. Don't boil that. Yeah. Pat kar lo. Almost half and half.
So what's the
Another
difference?
70 of that, 30 of that. About pran?
No, the lotus stem of dal.
Lotus stem of dal. So lotus stem of dal, when you bite into it, it bites like a very smooth texture. It's crispy, but yet it has a bite to it. Right? The other, it's very, very chewy. And this lotus stem is white in color, So yeah, if you take the dull leg lotus stem and just turn it to half like a stick, it will break it, it will snap into two. The other lotus stem will bend. Yeah, and it will be thin. It will be dark in color. It won't be bright white in color. And this is a piece this thick. Yeah. You see the colors of the onion now? How are they?
Translucent.
White. Right? Are we doing well on time? How much time is left? Half time is over?
Like 1 hour. So like probably 1 hour. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, please.
As the technology is developing,
Yes.
many countries are using AI and robotics to
Yes.
for cooking service.
Yes.
Singapore is already lab-based. So, how do we think which skill should we develop for the future?
Very good question. How many of you think that AI will replace you? Nobody thinks AI will replace you?
Yes, but
Huh?
It might if we don't develop the skills required.
No, it will replace you or not?
partial.
Why do you say that partially? मतलब या तो यहाँ है या यहाँ है.
No, partially because like analytics could be developed, but the human touch, the interpersonal connections, these things can't be.
वो हम सोच सकते हैं, अपने आप को दिलासा दे सकते हैं.
Actually, when
So AI will not take you over, but one person will take you over who knows how to use AI. So AI will not take you over. The person knowing how to use the AI will take you over for sure. So what you need to know is how to use that artificial intelligence in your kitchen. You need to be aware of what's happening around you. And you used to control that AI to make your job easier. But yes, there is a lot of technology coming into kitchen. There are even for cooking, etc. Abhi those kind of technologies are developed but very expensive. But in 5-6 years down the line, when the first mobile came in, it was so expensive. Today the mobiles are so cheaper. So जब वो technology cheap हो जाएगी, so definitely it will kind of be used for cooking. But what you can do is, you will still be able to develop the recipes for that AI. So you as chefs would be creating that language for that recipes for the AI to feed in. So the computer engineers will still get in touch with you to say, chef, how do we program this recipe? Kya karna hai? So you have to be on top of the game. Okay, so now and then what we do is we just knock it with the thumb, put this filling inside, close it, and then koftas. Koftas can be round, koftas can be like this. It's up to you. Okay, now, so my flavor is all retained here. My milk has kind of dried off. I switched this off and I have kept little bit of liquid because I don't want it to be dry because मेरे को इसको पेस्ट बनाना. अगर मैं इसको बिल्कुल ड्राई कर दूंगा फिर मैं और पानी डालूंगा. So no point, right? So अभी अगर कोई इसको ले जाके मिक्सी में अच्छा सा पेस्ट बना के ला दे, so then we will make the white paste. Be careful in the mixie, it's hot, वो पूरा बाहर आ जाएगा. हाँ, तो हम अब क्या कर सकते हैं? अब आपको फिलिंग में थोड़ी थोड़ी दिक्कत आ रही है उठाने में, है ना?
Yes.
क्यों आ रही है दिक्कत? क्योंकि वो अलग अलग है.
Right.
ये इसलिए मैंने पहले नहीं किया, because I wanted you to feel that thing. ठीक है? Now to save the time, we will first make individual of this. Here. individual of this. So this will save your time. But एक बार और, एक चीज़ और, बिकॉज समथिंग यू लर्न ओनली फ्रॉम योर एक्सपीरियंसेस. अब आप ये सारी मेहनत करोगे, उसके बाद जैसे ही इसको ऑयल में डालोगे वो फट जाएगा. तो पहला कोफ्ता हमेशा ट्राई करना है, उसके बाद हम उसको बनाएंगे, इतनी मेहनत करेंगे, ठीक है. तो कोफ्ता फ्राई करने से पहले जैसे ये हमने राउंड बनाते हैं कोफ्ता, ये बनाया, उसके बाद में इसको हम कॉर्न स्टार्च में थोड़ा सा रोल करेंगे. नॉट कम्प्लीटली कवर्ड बट ऐसे हल्का सा रोल करेंगे. Dredge off the excess corn flour. That's it. And this will go in the frying. Shall we fry here or shall we in the kitchen? Somebody can fry and see. क्या लगाना है ऑयल? चलो.
Chef, what do we do if it gets broken?
If it gets broken up, it needs more binding. फिर रोस्टेड चना दाल पाउडर आएगा, फिर एक ब्रेड सोक्ड इन मिल्क आएगा. So now you have to start thinking of the binders. What are the binding? Besan cooked in ghee, bread soaked in milk, रोस्टेड चना दाल पाउडर. और क्या बाइंड कर सकते हो? एग, कॉर्नफ्लावर. लेकिन कॉर्नफ्लावर ना कच्चा टेस्ट देगा.
लेकिन सर
एग वेजिटेरियन दैट इज. So I am telling you there are multiple options in front of you. That is your analysis now. This is important for chefs to analyze. One, always the learning thing goes in listing. Listing means knowledge, defining. Like I told you, thickening spices, flavoring spices, oil. These are all your lists. Second comes your comprehension. Comprehension level of understanding is, okay, I have these range of spices. What can I use? Like I told you, in white gravy हमें white spices use करनी है. तो वो आपकी comprehension है. Third stage of chefs is analysis. This is which you're doing now. कि ये vegetarian के लिए use नहीं कर सकते. That is analysis. These are the levels of your training. These are your levels of your understanding. कि कब चीज़ कहाँ यूज़ कर सकते हैं, कब नहीं यूज़ कर सकते, इसका impact क्या है, उसका impact क्या है. These things. So yeah, of course you can't do that. But cornstarch again, good binder, but it leaves a raw taste. Cornstarch को हमेशा कुक करना पड़ता है. लेकिन हमने इस पे कोटिंग क्यों की है cornstarch की? Because इसके ऊपर एक थिन सी लेयर बना देता है वो, तो उसका जो एक्स्ट्रा मॉइस्चर है ऑन टॉप, that corn flour absorbs. So when it cooks, it makes also a little crust. Now to make a crust, you can say इसको पकौड़े के बैटर में डिप कर देते हैं, हो जाएगा, but वो अजीब सा एक होगा. But पनीर को ऐसे डिप करते हैं, it's called पनीर बीर पनीर. So पनीर के slices को लेके you put mint chutney inside, close, do it in the pakora batter, fry, and cut that into half and cook it in a gravy. That's all the dish. But for koftas, you don't normally do this. अब ये जो कोफ्ते हैं ना, अब आपको एक कोफ्ता बनाना नहीं सिखाया मैंने, आपको 50 कोफ्ते बनाने सिखा दिए. अब आपने बनाना है पालक और अंजीर के कोफ्ते. पालक और अंजीर के कोफ्ते. आपने अंदर क्या करना है, स्टफिंग में इंस्टेड ऑफ रेजिन अंजीर डालने हैं, और इंस्टेड ऑफ धनिया इसमें चॉप ब्लांच स्पिनच डालनी है. सो इट्स नाइस ब्राइट ग्रीन इन कलर. सो इनसाइड इट्स अंजीरी.
Almost like that dish called sham savera, if I'm not wrong.
हाँ, in a white gravy for
Yes,
example.
yes.
Yeah. अब आपने इसमें बनाना है खुबानी और ज़ाफ़रानी कोफ्ते. खुबानी इज एप्रिकॉट्स, तो इसमें खुबानी की स्टफिंग गई. आपका कोफ्ता ग्रेवी इज मोर येलोइश इन कलर, फ्लेवर्ड विद सैफरन. दैट नाउ क्रिएट कोफ्तास इन योर माइंड. नाउ लेट योर माइंड लूज टू क्रिएट अमेजिंग कोफ्तास. सन-ड्राइड टोमेटो और बेसिल के कोफ्ते. Now when the moment you go into progressive Indian cuisine and you want to serve one big kofta, with a burrata stuffed inside. So there's a small ball of mozzarella. You stuff the mozzarella with sun-dried tomato and basil pesto and put it in a nice kofta, and cover it, fry it, and do a nice, like a pilati looking gravy with a basil sprig on top. Why not? But you'll be able to only create that once you understand the base down. और उसको और नेक्स्ट लेवल पे लेके जाना है अपने. तो कोफ्ता पूरा बना दिया विद ग्रेवी एंड एवरीथिंग. उस कोफ्ते को उठाया, पूरे को ब्लेंड किया, साइफन गन में डाला, 2 चार्ज किया और ऐसे करके उसका एस्पूमा बना के दे दिया इन अ ग्लास, to say espuma of malai kofta. So making espuma is not difficult, but to get the right texture of a malai kofta is difficult. So when I see young generations today, I'm telling you everything from that scratch to the espuma, so that you can see your own journey. Don't get just influenced by the Instagram food. Don't just get influenced by how is it looking on the plate. That thing that is looking on the plate has 10,000 to it. And the food, maybe it's not even cooked properly. Maybe that thing, that you see, the nice roasted color is a black polish, boot polish. Seriously, because in food, when you do a food course, they teach you all these things. So your burnt diesel becomes that maple from the pancake syrup. It's a burnt diesel because it holds the place. ठीक है? Otherwise जब तक photography होती है 1 घंटा लग जाता है डिश की फोटो करने में. By the time वो मेपल तो पूरा गिर जाएगा. और जो आपका ये बूट पॉलिश होती है वो स्टेक्स के ऊपर ऐसे रब करते हैं to give that black marks. So all is not edible food. So please don't get influenced by that. Learn how to cook well and then create it into different things. ओके तो फिर यहाँ ऑयल चढ़ाएं फ्राई के लिए? नहीं, फ्राई करना है तो ऑयल नहीं, इसमें तो फ्राई नहीं होगा ना, बिकॉज वी नीड डीप. उस सॉस पैन में डालना पड़ेगा ऑयल. हाँ ऑयल है ना, इसमें डालो, सॉस पैन में रखो. डाल दो पूरा. अब ऐसी जो ग्रेवीज हैं, you can just make so many different gravies. White gravy, हरियाली gravy, yellow gravy, यखनी gravy. हाँ, chicken. Yeah. Yeah. Because when you cook that tough cuts of meat on a slow heat, it contains more of collagen, the tougher meats, okay? The collagen on application of slow and moist heat converts into a gelatin, जिसमें वो चिपचिपा फ्लेवर आता है. और स्लो हीट में अगर आप ब्रेस्ट को कुक करेंगे जिसमें इतना कोलेजन नहीं है, it will become dry and chewy. So that is the reason why the exercise meats are used on a slow cooking for a lot of time. So any dum cooking meat, roasting principles, boiling, stewing, braising are for long durations of time on a very slow heat. So that's why the tougher cuts of meat are more preferred for slow cooking. For quick stir fries, you don't need to use thigh and all. You use chicken breast because that's a very quick stir fry method of cooking.
So while frying the cockroach, work it with the temperature of the oil?
So not very hot, but not cold also. Otherwise it will disintegrate. So somewhere 150 degrees Celsius. Always when you're working in the kitchen, it's very important to run the process in your mind. ठीक है? And that process is that जैसे आपको ये फ्राई करना है, तो आपको एक पॉट चाहिए, ऑयल चाहिए. मैं कोफ्ता डालूंगा. अब क्या करूँगा? कोफ्ता डो डाल दिया, फिर क्या चाहिए मुझे?
We need to swirl the kofta around for the even.
किससे?
With the
कहाँ है फोर्क?
fork is there.
अच्छा ठीक है, वो हो गया. फिर क्या करेंगे?
And if in a big fry, then we use a perforated spoon.
कहाँ है perforated spoon? हाँ तो दो. So this is what running in your mind. Not when kofta is here you start looking for perforated. By the time the kofta will burn.
Right.
So you need to play that thing in your mind. So I need perforated spoon. ठीक है जी, हो गया. कोफ्ता निकाला अब.
And then we keep it
Very
on
good.
the.
तो ये है हमारे पास. So we are complete in things. So run always things in your mind so that you're planned. So earlier as students make checklists. But slowly your mind will start making checklists on a autopilot zone. ठीक है? ये हो गया, ये हो गया. Done. Now we have to just wait for heat. Okay, ये भी हो गया है. So like white gravy. Now somebody else can go and make this into a paste. अब इसका प्यूरी बनाना है. So somebody can volunteer in the theory of this. So whoever will then come back, then we'll start doing the rest of the things. I will not cook anything before you come back. Any questions? समझ आ रहा है? So what happened? Okay, make her lie down. Make her lie down straight. Remove her shoes. हाँ, एक मिनट प्लीज लिटा दो. ज़्यादा लोग आसपास मत खड़े हो. थोड़ा हवा करो. Please sit down. Don't stand. No, because you haven't been. I want everybody to drink water. Come on. This is, you haven't eaten breakfast in the morning. That's the problem. Yeah. So you need to take care of yourself, no, before you work in the kitchen. चलो पानी पियो सब. ब्रेक लेके जाओ 10 मिनट. सिगरेट नहीं पीना, सिर्फ पानी पी के आ जाना. क्या? फिर हाँ, यूज़ कर बिल्कुल कर सकते हो फ्रेश ऑफ कोर्स. हाँ, मिंट भी यूज़ कर सकते हो बिल्कुल. यस like a peanut oil, sunflower oil. Palm oil is not very good for health. Rice bran oil is good. But after slow cooking करना है, flavors के लिए mustard oil, olive oil. Try नहीं कर सकते. It can't go above 80. Extra virgin can't go above 80. So mass can go up to 120. But we can't smoke. So smoking was only extra virgin. So mass can be used for cooking, but not for frying.